Hola. It's Fat Mascara. That sounded Spanish, not Portuguese. It's Fat Mascara. I'm Jenn Sullivan.
And I'm Garrett Muntz.
The reason I said that is, what do they say?
I've been hearing a lot of oi.
Oi.
Oi, oi.
Where in the world is Garrett Muntz?
I am in Brazil, which is why we're attempting to speak Portuguese. I have learned no Portuguese while I've been here, you guys. I'm sorry. But
no one expected you
I am
to.
in beautiful Sao Paulo at the Rosewood Hotel. And it is amazing. It's
For
gorgeous.
those of you following along at home that have been tracking which spa Garrett is at which week.
I know it's been a very busy spring for me, travel-wise, and it's not going to end for a while. But currently, I'm coming at you from Sao Paulo, Brazil, and it's been great. I had forgotten that they're in the Southern Hemisphere, so even though it looks like summer, it's actually fall.
Yes.
Which is odd.
That is how the round earth works.
I'm not a flat earther. I just
Our
forgot
South American listeners
geography.
are like, welcome. Oh, we have lots to talk about. I had to get your take on one thing, though, that came up in last week's episode. So last week was the Met, obviously,
Yes.
the Met Gala, which is still in the discourse a little bit. But I wanted to see if because somebody wrote in about the conversation that Jess and I had about beta blockers. And my realization, which I did not know, and maybe I'm the last person to know, is that so many celebrities have prescriptions for these before they go on a red carpet. So we actually had a bunch of people like texting me. I have something from a physician I wanted to share, but I was like, let me just see. Am I the only person? Like, are you nodding like you knew this was a thing and I'm the last person to know?
No, I'm nodding because you're not the last person to know because I was not aware.
Okay.
Okay, let me clarify. I had read something about it at some point, but I didn't realize it was so common. When I heard you and Jess talking about it, and she was like, oh yeah, we've been doing this for years. I didn't know that was the case. I thought it was like a new thing.
Yeah, I thought it was like, oh, they get Botox on their hairline so they don't sweat when they're nervous, or, like an off-label, very new, in the know if you know.
I didn't realize, I guess, that it was more for like anxiety symptoms. I thought it was more for like skin flushing, physical, like how you look. And I didn't realize it was about anxiety.
Then this is so appropriate. Let me read from our listener. I got this text. Hey, heard your thing on beta blockers. I'm a pediatrician that loves to listen. My name's Sofie. Thank you, Sofie. Okay, so here's the thing about beta blockers that is concerning for me. We use beta blockers for big events like public speaking or things like that. Here's the problem. I'm seeing all of these teenagers that have seen this on TikTok and want this for their anxiety. The problem is it's treating the symptoms, but not a fix of the underlying problem. It's like a Band-Aid. Plus, it can drop your blood pressure, and especially with teens, it can cause dizziness or passing out. They are wanting this instead of treating the underlying problem of dealing with their emotions, therapy, potential necessary SSRIs, and I worry about this a lot. Thanks. She clued me in, though, on TikTok, like, people are talking about it too. I must not be on that algorithm.
I mean, it makes sense if it's something that the celebrities themselves are talking about. I did a quick Google as well after the episode that you guys talked about it. And like people like Khloe Kardashian, Robert Downey Jr., all these people, I think Katy Perry, have all publicly said, I use these.
I saw a clip too. I forget her name, but it's Ayo Edebiri and then the other girl that did that used to work together, went to NYU together. I can't remember her name, but she talks about like, they're like, what are you wearing? And she was like, beta blockers, like something funny.
So in that sense, I'm not surprised that people are picking up on things like TikTok because anytime a celebrity says anything, it goes onto social media. I think that, what's her name, Sofie?
Dr. Soph.
Dr. Soph. I think she's right on the money. I mean, I think that's the issue with so many things, not just in beauty, but in medicine and health and wellness, all of it. I think we're so concerned with how issues make us look or feel that we're not focusing on what's causing them. And I think, yes, if a beta blocker can make you temporarily feel less anxious or look less anxious or be calmer or less red or whatever, that's cool. But it's not going to solve the anxiety that's making those things happen to your body.
Yeah. We love a symptom cure, not an actual cure.
Part of it, I think, is just the way that our medical system works and the way that we're educated around medicine.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do think it's also, I think, just human nature is like, we always want the easy road out. And it's like, if you're a celebrity and you're like constantly going to these things that are causing you anxiety, like instead of spending the time to like figure out how to not be anxious.
Yeah, but part of me is like, is this actually anxiety? Because like I get nervous, like nerves. There's like a difference. And I feel like we've just made, everybody speaks in terms of therapy now. At my volunteer job, there's two 22-year-olds and they were talking to each other. And like the number of therapy words they used, not in the context of therapy, it was astonishing to me. Like the boss, what did she? Oh, the boss was triggering. And then I feel that she is like, they know how to speak about mental health so well in this way. It's just become like our culture. It's not anxiety. Sometimes it's just nerves, right? Sometimes.
Totally. I mean, I think like everything, anxiety and any sort of mental health issue is on a spectrum, right? So nerves, temporary nerves because you're going on stage or you're going to
in my day, we called it butterflies.
We called it stage fright.
Stage fright.
We weren't holding space for that, you know. But it's like, yeah, I think it's all, you know, anxiety can be all sorts of different things. Yeah, I mean, it is, I think about the therapy speak a lot because I'm like, how is this affecting how much people actually think about these things and learn these things?
Yeah, language is so important. It does change the feelings we have, just the way we talk about things.
Totally.
Wow, we got deep off the bat here, didn't we?
We went right into it, you guys. Well, it is Mental Health Awareness Month, so I think we're running.
According to the White House. Is it actually other than the White House proclamation, which I saw 2 days ago?
Oh, I didn't see that. I think it's actually
I don't know. I was like, wait, what? The president was like, I hereby, with the power of the Constitution, call it Mental Health Awareness. I was like, what? Okay,
what?
Cool.
No, I think that was already a thing. I think he's just...
Yeah, me too. He's just doubling down. Thank you.
I'm also like, you know, I'm always a little bit skeptical of those like months and days. Although, shout out to my dad who somehow has a calendar. He'll text me like every day and be like, happy National Beef Hot Dog Day.
This is the most dad thing
like,
I've ever heard.
National, you know, Pig Showing Day. And it's really funny. It's
National
cute.
Pig Showing Day.
I mean, it's everything. There's a day for everything, guys.
Speaking of pig showing, I can make that about beauty. There's a girl that's viral for her pig showing skills, and she knows how to do a mean slick back bun. I'm just going to say that right now. Google it. And
not to digress too much, but there was a TV show on TLC about competitive pig showing, and it is so good. It's riveting.
Really? Raise a wand to the show?
Raising a wand early in the show to, I'll have to look it up at a break and tell you guys what it's actually called, because I think it's called like Pig Royale or something, but it's about two competing Texas families who are rivals on the competitive pig showing circuit.
I love the pig circuit. Wait, while we were talking, guys, we will get to the beauty news. I looked up today, May 14th. What day is it? Garrett, it's National Decency Day.
Oh, that's actually really constructive and nice.
I don't know what that... I mean, what? Okay, cool. So you got to be decent to me this whole episode.
Done. I'll do my best.
All right.
No
well,
promises.
Then let's get into it. Everybody be decent. Let's get into it. Okay, let's get into the beauty news. Kick it off, Garrett.
Well, there's an interesting trend that I wanted to bring up that you and I have spoken about a little bit, which is butts, specifically butt skincare. And I love butts. I mean, who doesn't love a butt, right? Butts are the best.
Butts are so, yes.
But there's a new brand called, of course, Butt Face. And there's a new brand called Butt Face that just came out. And they claim to be the first facial grade skincare for your butt, right? They have
different from Asset. Which,
not to get too TMI here, but you guys all know by now that I don't believe in TMI. I love Asset. I think it's a great product.
Alex Pauly, when she was my guest co-host, was the first to talk about that. We talked about the whole serum. But let's get away from the whole and back to the skin.
We're talking more about the outer butt, like the glutes.
Okay, so butt face.
So butt face is meant to, there's an exfoliator, there's a mask, and it's meant to help firm your butt skin. They say that there's a peptide that they use. A lot of firming products you see use things like caffeine, which offer like a temporary firming kind of effect. They claim that their peptide does this without the need for caffeine. I think it's a great idea. I think butts deserve a lot of attention, but however, I call shenanigans on the fact that it's the first facial grade skincare. I also call shenanigans on the term facial grade in general because they're just using the same ingredients on a body. We've seen this happening in body for so long.
Yeah, I think we need to change the headline, beauty marketers.
Yeah, it's like at this point, unless you're coming with a brand new molecule, nothing is the first.
Yeah, there's been skincare level actives in body care for years now.
And there's nothing to say that you can't use an incredible body lotion on your butt. In fact, you probably should, going head to toe with your lotion.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I mean, part of it is like obviously marketing, but I also think, I was thinking about this, particularly in terms of this other brand that we talked about called Spooge. And they have a butt sunscreen called Cheeky. So I think a butt sunscreen is really interesting because I don't know about you, but the last few years in the summers, I have noticed everyone is wearing a thong.
Yes,
Everyone.
This is what I want
to
to say. I was like holding my tongue, but like down in Fort Tryon in Brooklyn, the beaches, all genders, butts are out.
Butts are out. The thongs are getting smaller. The butts are getting perkier. I mean, I go off. I love a butt. I love a thong. I don't know if I personally am in the place where I would want to wear a thong on the beach because I don't really like the beach because of the sand. But I see thongs everywhere. I mean, as we've said, I travel a lot. I see thongs wherever I go. I have not been to a beach in the last 3 years where I have not seen at least one thong.
And it's an area that, so this product, Spooge, the brand, which I have thoughts on that name as well. But anyway, the product name is called Cheeky, Protect Your Assets. So it's an SPF 30 specifically designed for your butt with like an illuminating kind of formula to it. Which, I'll be honest, if you're new to the butt exposure worlds, okay, let me just say this. If I were to wear a thong to the beach, these cheeks have not seen the light of day, I think, ever. Have I ever gone, unless I was like on a remote island and like nude, I've swum nude in the ocean at night. Nope, that's nighttime. I don't think on a rooftop sometimes I may have like hiked up the bathing suit into the crack to get some color, which I should not do, which is the point of this sunscreen. But sometimes there's discoloration. I get some folliculitis, so now there's hyperpigmentation. So like, I'm not exposing that, but now maybe with these products I would.
I mean, I think...
Would I?
I don't know if you necessarily need a butt-specific sunscreen. I think any sunscreen on your butt is a good idea if you're exposing it.
My butt's so white. I'm a white lady, though. My butt's so white. It's like, I bet you could see I don't know. The butts I see on the beach have a little color to them.
Yeah, because they're probably wearing thongs all the time.
Right, so their butt is like the same as their thigh. It's been out all summer of their life.
Totally.
Hopefully not. Yeah, when you're a little kid, it doesn't matter. So yeah, maybe.
Anyone who has seen my Instagram knows that I'm no stranger to a tiny swimsuit. I don't usually wear a thong in public, but if I were, I would definitely make sure to sunscreen my butt.
I'm also thinking about, like, I guess you don't have to worry about a wedgie if you're wearing a thong.
It's like a perma wedgie. It just feels like a wedgie.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is the thing with bathing suit bottoms. I don't know. Would I do it? Should I get a thong for the summer?
I mean, why not?
Because my butt skin's not ready. I need butt face. I am not about to. By the way, the butt mask, the best thing I saw about the media push for this new brand was he was quoted, I don't know what his story was. It was the founder saying that his hydrogel style sheet mask was manufactured in Asia and they couldn't believe the size that was needed for the American market.
I didn't see that, but that's a genius quote.
Because it's like, yeah, if you're doing a sheet mask, you have to assume you want to cover all the butts. And we have a wide range of butts here in America. I guess in the Asian market, the butts tend to be smaller. The manufacturer's like, wait, you want it what size?
Like he's like, oh, we call that
That's a blanket.
quadruple XL. Yeah, that's a throw pillow.
And you know I don't like to get down with a single-use sheet mask. So I'm just going to that's not going to be the product for me.
There also are other butt masks. There's that brand Loops has one or had one at one point.
I'll be perfectly honest. I made fun of those when they came out back when the K-Beauty, when we first started seeing sheet masks and there was a butt one. But it is a different kind of skin and there's special concerns for that area. I get that.
I think it's dovetailing a little bit with the kind of sexual wellness trend we're seeing pop up too. I am a big fan of this brand called Future Method, which is a brand from this guy, Dr. Evan Goldstein, who is an anal surgeon. He wrote a book literally about butts, about anal sex and how to take care of your butt and all this stuff. He is an incredible...
Is this different than a proctologist?
I think that he would not be... I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I think that these days we call them anal surgeons.
I've never heard the term anal surgeon, so that's why I ask.
But he does a lot of like education around anal sex and, you know, things like that for everyone. He has a brand called Future Method that came out years ago, and I really love it. They have a really good like scrub that's made for your butt, but also your entire body. It's one of my favorite body scrubs. And so he, you know, I think that they have some other products too, but he was coming at part of the reason that he developed his scrub was because it was designed to help you clean off things like lube and stuff after you had sex. But you can use that as just a normal body scrub because it's actually a really good body scrub. So I think that part of it, our fascination with butts right now and butt skincare is the Venn diagram of like sexual wellness products and butt products is basically a circle.
Yeah. And also, I wrote about that for The Cut. We didn't have her. Katie Storino, she's been on the pod, but like there's actually been a couple upgraded hemorrhoid creams, which go into this. And her thinking was, why don't we talk about these things? We're open about all these other things. Why aren't we talking about the issues that we have there?
I think that's a very good point too. I can't back this up with any data, but I would venture to guess that hemorrhoid creams are more attractive to people because they're spending a lot more time on the toilet looking at their phones.
Any doctor will tell you you should not be sitting for like more than 5 minutes in that position. It's just not good for your butt.
Absolutely.
And by your butt, I mean your colon and the whole,
your whole
not
GI,
just the cheeks.
everything.
We've moved on from cheeks, guys. If you weren't prepared for the cheek conversation, we've brought it in. We're between the crack now. But you're right. You're just not supposed to. It's not good for you.
Yeah. I'm going to look up this data later. I would love to hear an actual doctor who could talk about this to say, are they seeing more
because
cases
people
in
just
younger
sit there
people?
and they're like scrolling on TikTok and all of a sudden putting undue pressure on the delicate skin and veins and things in that area.
I mean, think about all the times when like your partner or your friends or whatever are like in the bathroom and they just start sending you reels like constantly.
I don't think that's ever happened.
Oh, it happens to me all the time. Either myself or I'm like, I have some like, you know, some friends that I'll just randomly get like 10 videos.
You're like, they must be in the bathroom right now. Sometimes it takes a while and they're getting bored.
I mean,
don't know.
I'm saying, but I think it's all from a skeptical, like cynical standpoint. I think we're running out of areas of the body to market. But then from a beauty kind of investigatory standpoint, I want to know what's behind this. I think that a lot of things, the fashion of thongs, I think possibly the sexual wellness conversations we're having, I think it all could kind of play into this, which do I think that everyone needs butt-specific skincare? No. But I also think if you're concerned about how your butt looks and you want to wear a thong to the beach, why not try
Get into it. Yeah. Wait, this brings us to something else I want to talk about. You just talked about the beautification of the butt from a cynical standpoint. Like, what other area are we going to like now bring into the beauty industry? The skinification of hair, the blood, whatever. It's like capitalism. The minute something enters the pop culture conversation, somebody's on it. They've got a deck prepared for investors, white space, right? So the one that I've been seeing, in addition to butts now, I just read an article that got me thinking about this, was like lots of Luxe oral care, like not Smile, but just, again, to wellness, probiotic, healthy kinds of oral care. So I just read an article by Linda Wells, the great Linda Wells, also former Fat Mascara guest in Airmail. And she brought up a study, which is from a while ago, that I actually didn't know about. There is a link between using antibacterial mouthwashes and high blood pressure. So if you gargle daily with something that's killing the bad bacteria that could cause bad breath, it's also killing the good bacteria. And so what that does apparently is the oral microbiome that you want, the good bacteria, converts dietary nitrates into nitrites, which are essential for the production of nitrous oxide, which is essential to maintaining normal blood pressure. So the theory is when you kill that good bacteria, you lower that whole system and your blood pressure is affected. And they see this in research, people that use antibacterial, or which is usually alcohol, right? What else would it be?
I mean, I feel like traditionally oral care has a lot of alcohol in it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like Bernie mouthwash, alcohol-based mouthwash, which I actually don't use. But now, I guess brands who realize a bunch of people have developed this habit. Thank you, Big Beauty. I mean, Big Oral Care, from whenever that started, when we were like, oh, we got to swish in our mouth with alcohol. Brands are coming out with probiotic-friendly mouthwashes. So I don't know if you've been seeing any, but I've seen really schmancy ones. Like Aesop has one.
Yeah. I've seen them everywhere. I think this is a fascinating study and fascinating idea that, because, you know, you do hear dentists say that
death comes through the gums.
Oh, totally.
Who said this? This is a quote that comes up often in my family and my household, but while you talk, I need to look up who actually said death comes through the gums. Continue.
I use mouthwash religiously. I also use alcohol-free mouthwash because I sleep with my mouth open because of my CPAP.
Yes.
So my mouth gets really dry, and anything with alcohol makes it even more dry, which I think is why people started the no alcohol thing in the first place, was a dry mouth. But it's interesting that now it's merged into this probiotic conversation, which, again, cynically, it's like everything else in our bodies is probiotic now, right? We have like microbiome care for our skin.
Yeah, but we caused all these problems when we set it off, when we started using skincare and alcoholic mouthwashes, and now we have to like reset it. It's like, I don't know, caveman skin's starting to sound way more. No.
But I also think it's interesting that these things like the probiotics are actually, in some cases, not good for you, like in terms of oral care, you know, because you need that kind of stuff. It is interesting. I haven't used a lot of them. There's one that I really like from that brand called Boca. That's a probiotic. B-O-K-A.
Wait, are you saying there's cases where probiotics are not good for you?
I thought, maybe I'm misunderstanding your study here. Are we talking about like the probiotic stuff is for your mouth was causing the issues?
No, it's the alcohol-based antibacterial mouthwashes that cause the issues, which makes more sense. Yeah, it kills the bad bacteria, but it also kills the good bacteria.
I see.
Put aside the alcoholic mouthwashes, this new version, the probiotic, the healthier mouthwashes, quote unquote, is what is gaining market share now. And that is probably because of this marketing tactic. P.S. Sarah Silverman, comedienne. Sarah Silverman is the one who said death comes through the gums. There was some study back in the day about plaque and how people who had more plaque also had plaque in their arteries. And it was also, and she was like, it proves my point. Death comes through the gums. I don't know.
I do think that people don't understand their oral health enough. And I think that people rely a lot on dentists and other people to just tell them what to do. I mean, I don't know. I think it's interesting that if more people understood how better oral care could affect your overall health, I think it would make a big difference in how people treat their oral care.
Oh, I think we're well on the way there as we optimize every freaking body part we have. I think this will be something people do realize that you'll learn about like in health class in elementary school. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Oh, wait, on the note of drying out your mouth with alcohol, I'm just loving how much my segues are working. Can we talk about something else that gets dried out?
Of course.
eyes. What is up with this episode? This is all like weird health problems.
We're really going for like every area of your body that we don't really talk about usually.
I don't know how this became so unglamorous. I'm so sorry, everyone.
You don't think butts are glamorous?
Yeah, well, I guess butts are pretty glamorous. So's a thong. A thong's like the most glamorous piece of clothing you could wear, I guess, in a way. But I want to talk about dry eyes, so that's what we're going to do. I actually want to talk about it because it's kind of beauty adjacent in that there's a new injectable hyaluronic acid gel for people with dry eyes. If an injectable hyaluronic acid gel sounds familiar, that's because we talk about them a lot for our wrinkles and for our face, right? And our lips, plumping our lips and things like that. But now this product's called Lacrofill, and it's an HA gel, but it is injected into your canalicular system. Garrett, do you know what your canalicular system is?
No. Tell me.
I really thought you were going to give it a guess. I don't know.
I mean,
Go with the Latin.
Well, it's around your eyes, right? I'm assuming. Is it your tears? Your tear ducts?
It is the system it's not the ones that pump them outwards. It's the tubes that your tears then drain through the lacrimal drainage system. I didn't even know this existed in my body. There's a tear drainage system. So when you cry or when your eyes are wetting, this is how the tears go backwards into your body. So the filler goes into the canalicular system, and that prevents the tears from draining. So it keeps the moisture in your eye, not falling out like you're crying. Like take the emotional crying part of it out of it.
I'm having such a hard time.
Okay, so like say you're pumping out the moisture for your eyes, which is tears. It's the same thing. You're not crying, but just like the wetness that's in your eyes.
Right.
The tubes that it drains through and like metabolizes in your body, it stops those up so that the wetness stays on your eyeball and in your eye. I guess this is the system that is actually what's causing people dry eyes, that the system's messed up.
It's like too active or whatever. If you're getting dry eyes.
So this HA gel, it's temporary. It lasts for 6 months. It's injected into the canalicular system and just fills it up slightly so that now all that good moisture that you want in your eyes stays in your eyes instead of draining and metabolizing, which would cause the problem, which is what happens when people have dry eye.
That's so interesting.
I was talking to this doctor, Dr. Jai Parekh. He works on the board of the company, but he's an ophthalmologist in Jersey. He's kind of a riot too. But he was telling me he sees so much dry eye now. And he's like 100% it's because of screens. He's like, I used to only see dry eye in older people. It does affect women more often. It does affect people as they get older more often. He's like, I have teenagers coming in now with dry eye disease, which is like when your eyes are so dry that like they're irritated all the time. If you have this, I know you're listening and being like, it's horrible. Because I have a friend who has it and like her eyes hurt all the time. Which sounds gross.
It sounds terrible.
Not gross. Sounds bad. I feel bad for her. But anyway, so for 6 months, you don't even have to do anything. No tear. Like, I don't know about you, but I can't put in an eye drop to save my life.
I can, but I don't like to do it. But I also like, where does it go? Like, where do they put it into your face? Is it like, are they injecting your eyes?
Like the inner corners of your eyes with a teeny tiny like little syringe. I know sorry. I know it sounds gross, but think about it. This is an ophthalmologist. They're like some of the best surgeons out there. Their job is literally teeny tiny surgery with like microscopes. And the other I was like, okay, side effects, there's got to be tons, right? No, hardly any, because like HA gel in your face, it's reversible. So if for whatever reason you don't like it, they can inject hyaluronics and your canaliculars are back to their usual operating systems.
I think this is fascinating. Are we talking? I don't think that the name is right, though. Is it a filler?
Lacrofill? It is a filler. Yeah.
But should we consider it a filler?
I guess not. No. But it is called Lacrofill. I was just considering it that because to me, I wanted to equate it for people who are familiar with the beauty conversation. And since we talk about beauty culture, I was like, it technically is a new kind of filler, but you're right. That's a bad way to think about it.
I just think that the name is wrong. I think it's fascinating, and I love that we continue to find applications for like HA-based filler type products. I think it's so interesting. Do I want someone coming at my eyeball with a needle? No. If I had dry eye that was causing me a lot of issues, would I try it? Absolutely.
Oh, they showed us a little video, too, of someone who had gotten it done. And you get like a numbing drop. So like, honestly, to the person, it takes like literally 5 minutes. They're in and out 15 minutes, he said, the whole appointment. And at most, maybe you'll have a little blurred vision. maybe a little discomfort. And he's like, but mostly people who have gotten it, they're back in 6 months and they're like, it wore off. I want it again. I was like, okay. So it's new. Obviously, asked your doctor about it, but I think people are going to be seeing this more. And I don't know. I was intrigued. I guess it is a beauty product, though. There's other eye products that are like now marketed as beauty products.
Oh, for sure. There's that brand Lumify, which is really big. It's like an anti-redness. They just came out with one that's preservative free. So
an eye drop, and that's a prescription eye drop.
Yeah. Their whole thing was, I think it's better for sensitive eyes because there's no like preservatives in it. I don't really know how they do something like that without preservatives. I'd have to look back at the science a little bit more. But I think it's interesting that, like we were talking about mouths and butts, maybe eyes are our next big innovative white space. I mean, we already have 2.
10 years from now, we're going to get on the mics and we're going to be like, what are your ear canals like today? Like, ear canals are so hot right now.
Like, I just had mine filled and
lovely.
They're a lot bigger now.
Do you like your ear canal blush? I like mine. Like, what else can we put a product on? Jesus.
The soles of my feet I just had them sanded down so that there's no wrinkles.
And they're putting filler down there. Anyway, okay, yes. Well, all right. This is a weirdly futuristic episode. I'm going to end on one more thing. Roblox, because I told everybody about Givaudan did a Roblox game. There's been other beauty companies playing in the Roblox space. This new one was interesting to me. It's e.l.f., Eyes, Lips, Face Cosmetics, e.l.f. Cosmetics, everybody's heard of. But they didn't do a beauty game. Their game that they're sponsoring and bringing to Roblox is Fortune Island, Earn, Learn, Flex. It's designed to empower the Roblox community through engaging financial literacy education while fostering self-confidence.
That's cool.
Yes. I was like, e.l.f. is one of those brands that gets the idea of brand awareness and brand association. I don't always have to sell a product. I want people to think my brand is cool. Like, you know those charts that forever, it was always like Nike was at the top, just like good brand vibes. e.l.f. is getting at that level, I think, where they're just like, okay, with young people, good brand vibes.
Yeah. I think also they're so good at understanding how to talk to young people and what young people need and want, and figuring out creative ways to help with that don't even include products sometimes. And I think a lot of brands can learn from them.
Yeah, and apparently some survey data that they cited when they were talking about why they did this is that the younger generations have trouble talking about money and want to be able to talk about money and learn about money, but this is a way to do that. And I think it was actually, maybe it was like a month ago, maybe it was last year actually, they helped to launch Love Your Mind World, which is a Roblox game. And that one was for supporting teen mental health.
I love that.
That I've seen more of in the beauty industry. Yeah. So many mental health activations.
I think it's so awesome that more people are starting to talk about the link between beauty and mental health. I think it's such a great, underappreciated kind of thing. And so many of us love beauty because of how it makes us feel and how it's both a personal thing and also a social thing in many ways. And I think as we move into this culture of like increased isolation and mental health issues that come with that, I think talking about things socially and all, I'm off on a total tangent. My point here is that I personally am very fascinated and intrigued by the link between beauty and also mental health. I think there's a lot to do there.
So much so.
So much so that this is the first time I'm publicly coming out about this. I'm starting grad school in the fall to get a MSW to hopefully professionally explore links between beauty and also mental health and become a therapist and think about ways to integrate wellness, beauty, but also it's such an important thing for a lot of people. I hope to particularly work with men and young men, but really anyone around all of these themes and bodies, mental health.
When you decided to apply to grad school at your not too advanced age, but you're having like a big life shift, was some of the stuff that you've learned and we've talked about on this podcast, but that you write about when you write about men's grooming, men's beauty, just our whole world, did that play into your decision to go back to school and become a therapist?
Absolutely. I mean, I had to think about this a lot as I was like writing my essays for the applications, but also beforehand too. I mean, I've been thinking about this for years, and it's something that always drew me to beauty in the sense of like, we talk on this pod a lot about how beauty can kind of be the lens to talk about so many different things, from cultural issues to political issues to mental health issues, all of it, right? And what always drew me to beauty so much is that link between mental health and beauty and how it can be used as an avenue to so many different things. And honestly, part of my own personal story is that one of my biggest intros into the kind of healing and therapeutic aspects of beauty was from my own therapist in college, who really kind of pointed me in that direction, and it really got me thinking about that. And so I think that there's a lot to do there. I mean, and that's part of why I chose social work too, is that thinking about all of the social issues we've talked about when it comes to beauty and how beauty can help communities, organizing, politics, all of it. I think it's such an exciting time right now, and seeing all of these beauty companies, to go back to our original point, seeing all these beauty companies investing in mental health, especially with younger people who are really in need of it. And really, we're in a real mental health crisis in this country, and my work around men's beauty has really driven that home for me, because we're in a men's mental health crisis particularly.
And listen, if you're not going to get funding from the government to help with some of these things, I noticed 4 days before the government said it was Mental Health Awareness Month, they took away $1 billion in grants for mental health work in public schools that had been from the last president's era. I was like, well, that's rich. But if our public sector doesn't have the money to do that, which you can make a good argument as to why we need a smaller government. I'm not going to say, anything about that, but like, who is going to fill that in? It feels weird that it might be the beauty industry, but if capitalism is how our world runs, why not? These brands have an excess of marketing budgets. I'd rather them put it to, like, Maybelline just did an on-campus mental health awareness. We talked about the Rare Beauty Summit. Who's going to pay for it if not those brands?
And I think people can get cynical about when brands like that do things, but I do think the way that we all use beauty has a mental health component. There's so many studies, so many things that show how beauty can affect our own mental health in many, many ways, both positive and also negatively, right?
Right.
And so I think it makes sense that beauty brands would be kind of on the forefront of this, because that's a way that we all can
engage with that.
Yeah, engage it, not just from a beauty standpoint, but from a mental health standpoint. I mean, think about, like, you go to the drugstore as a teenager and buy an amazing lipstick or something, and it makes you feel great. You're going to remember that moment. You're going to be like, oh, I wore this one thing. Anyway, I think beauty has a place in our lives and in also our overall mental health, and so in such a distinct way that I
feel like we just got your essay, your application essay. I feel like this is your interview for getting into grad school. You're in. We'll take you.
Thank you. And
class of 2029. I don't even know when you would graduate.
God. 2027. It's going to be a lot. I'm speaking for the entire podcast listening community. I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited for you. This is going to be amazing, but I bet you the Fat Mascara fam feels the same. Okay, let's go raise a wand, because I know the Fat Mascara fam supports you, because we have a listener who wants to talk to you. Okay, it's time to raise a wand. Take it away, Micah.
Hi, it's Micah again. I'm from Thomasville, North Carolina, which is the town right beside Lexington. I thought that was the barbecue capital of North Carolina, but it's actually apparently the barbecue capital of the world. How is that even possible? I don't know. There's even a festival every year for it. So I grew up eating tons of barbecue. I'm with Garrett and April, and I'm personally a fan of vinegar-based sauce, but the real test is if you're a red or white slaw person. So Garrett, I gotta know, I'm a white slaw girl myself. And while I'm here, I do have an actual raise a wand as well. As an acne-prone person, it's so hard to find non-comedogenic products that don't break me out. But the Fenty line randomly has so many options. The Hydrovisor Tinted Moisturizer fits the bill. Plus, it has SPF that's 30, which my skin is obsessed with. It evens out my skin tone, has a really pretty natural finish, and it doesn't feel like heavy makeup. So I'm pleasantly surprised by it every time I use it, and I'm almost done with my first bottle. All right, y'all. I could talk about food and beauty all day, so thanks for the show. Can't wait to hear more barbecue discourse. Bye, guys.
Okay, so Micah, this is amazing. This is a great question, because slaw is an underappreciated element of barbecue. And I personally, while I enjoy a red slaw in certain contexts, If you're having barbecue, you need to have a white slaw. There's
Is
no
red
other
slaw
way.
just red cabbage in the same kind of vinegary?
Yeah. I mean, I love like a creamy, like white cabbage.
Does red slaw tend to be less creamy than a white slaw?
I think so. I mean, I think it really depends on the restaurant you go to.
But you're in white slaw camp.
White slaw all the way. I mean, I love both. I love a slaw in general. I love like a crisp slaw. But it has to be white if you're having barbecue sandwiches. Or any barbecue, really. But
Do you
she's
want
right.
the Philadelphia girl to weigh in at all?
Go for it. Why not? I mean, you've never had Carolina barbecue.
I haven't at all, but I have very strong feelings about slaw.
Go for it. Tell us what they are.
Because the slaw in Pennsylvania is like the creamy ass Germanesque. It's just like this in Germany too. It's white and it's too much mayonnaise, and get that stuff out of here. I think it's so gross. I want a vinegary, crispy, and that's like, you're right, the purple cabbage slaw. I want a high acid. I don't know, it's too sugary sometimes. But you know what? That's a good accompaniment for the spicy barbecue and the...
Exactly.
And visually, since this is a beauty podcast, even though we've been talking about barbecue and butts for the last hour, I have to say the white slaw makes a nice contrast with the deep red of the barbecue sauce.
Absolutely. And listen, too much acid is too much acid. I don't like it when there's too much mayonnaise and too much cream. Like it needs to have it still needs to have a bite to
Freshness
it.
to it,
you know? But yes, I think... I actually, funnily enough, I've never really seen a lot of red slaw in like traditional Carolina barbecue places. Although maybe they're a different region. But I've always had
call
red
in.
slaw.
The lines are still open
They're
for this
still
whole
buzzing.
conversation. This has been
They're
going on
lighting
for
up.
like 2 months now.
I did not know that barbecue would be such a hot topic, and I'm thrilled.
I'm still getting new voicemails. I guess like people that aren't caught up or just listen out of order or whatever. I'm still getting voicemails, so we're going to keep the conversation going. You know where to call us.
I'm also
or maybe you
thrilled-
have like she had a razor wand for, who knew, Fenty sunscreen, so great for people with acne.
Oh, I didn't know that, and that's a really good tip because that's
Right?
when you have acne, it's really hard to find good sunscreen.
So that one, Hydrovisor, guys, SPF 30, which we love. 646-481-8182. Talk to us about butts, beta blockers. What else did we talk about?
The 4 Bs: butts, beta blockers, and barbecue.
Yeah, that's your new podcast when you're a therapist. By licensed social worker and therapist, Garrett Muntz.
They'd be like, how does this have anything to do with mental
You're
health?
like, it'll all tie in. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry.
Okay, let's get out of here. Let's do some reason ones. What's yours?
So I have 2. I'll be really fast, but they're 2 travel essentials we've talked about my travels. One of them is the Panasonic Arc 5 Palm razor.
Oh.
I don't know if women use electric razors as much as men. I'm a big electric razor person, and this thing is so wild. It is so tiny. I'm just going to hold it up. It really will. It fits in the palm of your hand.
Oh, wow.
It's literally like the head of a razor.
Oh,
and you hold it like this. So it takes up no space in your bag.
Wait, that would normally back in the day have 6 inches of handle behind it.
Oh, yeah.
But it has the same head.
It's the same head.
How close? How close are we shaving with this
I
thing?
literally shaved like this morning and I have like no shadow. And the Arc 5 head is one of the best razors you can get, like electric shavers. I mean, I feel like women could use this like wherever they want on their bodies. Also, it's very gentle. They have one in white. So I'm like, maybe that's their concept is that they
I've never tried using an electric razor on my legs.
Really?
It just never crossed my mind to do that.
I mean, I think it might be a little hard on your legs because you mostly use them to shave dry. At least I do. I mean, I know a lot of them you can use product, but they kind of get
how great for
gunked up
travel.
if
Like you
use
put on your
product.
bathing suit and in the last minute, there's a little hair somewhere you gotta...
Yeah, you gotta zip it
Teeny
off.
tiny that thing. Razor
It's
wand.
amazing. Razor wand. It's a little on the pricey side. It's on sale usually on Amazon for around $200. But honestly, it is like the best investment if you use electric razors.
Dads and grads, guys.
Totally. My other one is the Sofie Pavitt Mandelic Clearing Serum, which is awesome because when I travel, I break out really easily. And this is one of my things I like when I land that night, I put it on, and the next day I have no breakouts. My skin looks
People
great.
love this serum.
That is so good. I don't really use it at home that much. I keep it in my DOP kit. I have a pre-packed DOP kit that I just
Is the
throw in
only
my
active
bag.
mandelic?
It's mandelic, hyaluronic acid, and panthenol.
Okay, but the acne clearing, bump clearing of it all is just the mandelic.
Totally. And it doesn't dry your skin out because your skin is always dry from planes anyway.
Yeah, salicylic can be drying for me.
Yeah, it's so great. It's like my travel lifesaver. I'll use it the first night always, and then if I still have a little lingering breakouts, I'll use it like maybe two.
It sounds like it helps with the breakouts, but doesn't then dry because you've got panthenol for soothing, but then like the hyaluronic acid. So you know how like you can sometimes get that rebound oiliness when you use a acne clearing product. Totally. It feels like your moisture staying the same level while you're not getting the bumps.
And I just feel like whenever you travel, no matter what, like your skin kind of freaks out.
Yeah.
No matter what your like skin problems are. And it's just a really good balancing. Because even if you don't have breakouts, it like exfoliates, it hydrates, it kind of protects everything. It's perfect.
This is your travel skincare. One and done.
Raise a wand.
Raise a wand. I'll raise my wand too. Oh, it's e.l.f. I forgot about that. It's e.l.f. Not because I was influenced by the Roblox game, but they have hydrocolloidal stickers, off zits it's called, that are for zits. However, I am a very injury-prone person. I don't know if you know this about me. It's like there's always a bruise, a cut, whatever. The most recent is I got scratched on my face by a pigeon. So I got not in the wild, don't worry. I volunteer at the Wild Bird Fund here in New York City, which is where you can bring, by the way, did you know this? It's May, Migration Month. If there's an injured bird or anything, it's on the Upper West Side, you can bring in an injured animal and we will take care of it. And I will be one of the people helping to do that. I go there every week, but
oh my God.
They only let us work, us volunteers who aren't super trained, because I'm like only semi-trained. I'm only allowed to really work with the pigeons because the songbirds are really fragile. So
you're like, oh my God, the like pigeon lady from like Home Alone 2. That's what I'm picturing.
Oh, you would not believe it. Like they have free flying time sometimes while you're working. You'll be like trying to give them meds or like drawing up meds or whatever you're doing. And there's just like pigeons swooping around above you because they have to like get back in shape so they can be released, right? Oh well, anyway, sometimes when you have to like take them out of the cage, a little flap or an errant wing, I got scratched. These e.l.f. off zits, I was like, let me just put because I know I was going to pick at it if it scab. Then it won't scab. I'm hoping I'm not going to get hyperpigmentation. I don't know if you guys saw me on Instagram, like the last couple of videos, you might have noticed it, but you don't really notice it. It's a great way because it's so clear, these little dots. Great for like little tiny injuries. And of course, zits too. And $8 for like 30, 40 of them in there probably. So
that is a really good tip.
Yeah, raise a wand. All right. Well, everybody. What an episode.
I mean, we went all over the place.
If you're still here after the butt part, I think I might have said the phrase open the crack. I don't know what I was we're moving it. If you're still here, we love you and, get your beauty sleep.
Get your beauty sleep, everyone.
We hope you enjoyed the show.
It's your reviews and feedback that help us make the podcast even better. Head over to iTunes to rate and review us or email your thoughts to info@fatmascara.com.
We also want to answer your beauty questions and hear what products you love. To share a Raise a Wand product review or to ask a beauty question, email us at info@fatmascara.
If you send it as a voice memo file, we can even share your voice on the podcast. You can also do that by leaving us a voice message. Our phone number in the United States is 646-481-8182.
Thanks so much for listening.